Well, they say defense and rebounding can overcome some shortcomings in other areas, and I thought tonight that was very much the case. We worked really hard the last 2 days and trying to emphasize the importance of keeping Nebraska under 6 threes. And that's not easy. They play with great pace. They play with great tempo. They've got 5 guys sometimes at times who can shoot it and make shots. And then I felt like we had to take advantage of them on the glass. We probably set an NCAA record for the amount of missed layups tonight and opportunities at the front of the rim. But you have those nights, and we weren't extremely sharp, but we'll take it. We'll take it, and we'll move on and get ready for Northwestern on Thursday.
Joey?
Fred, we've seen Kofi get doubled quite a lot this season, but there were times there were 3 guys on him tonight. What do you think of how he handled that and kind of responded?
The first half, I didn't think he was very good at it. I thought he had opportunities to kick some balls out, and we knew it was coming. We had worked on it. I thought he did a better job the second half, and I thought we gave him the ball in better positions to be successful in the second half. And it's a two-way street. It's not just Kofi getting doubled or tripled. It's our guys making sure that they're making the right reads so they can put him in a position to be successful, and I thought we did a better job of that. No more? Boy, it's my lucky night.
Brad, what happened in the second half with him? Because obviously he just made a huge impact on how that game went on both sides of the court.
Yeah, I mean, we got him the ball the first possession of the half. He missed a 4-footer, but when Kofi impacts us probably more defensively and on the glass than he does on the offensive end, we need him to believe that sometimes. And he worries. He has a tendency to worry about, I'm getting triple teamed and I'm getting, that's part of maturation and growing up and understanding that. It's truly the ultimate compliment to get a double or even a triple team. You can't demand any more respect from the opponent than that. And I thought he stayed very much within himself and was quite good the second half.
In the way back,
Brad, despite the team shooting only 39%, 5 guys were in double figures tonight, and I think the team is 4-0 when that happens this season. Is 5 guys in double figures kind of the magic number, or what do you think about that?
Seems to be. If I could do that every night, I'd do that every night. And that means you're scoring inside, you're scoring outside, you're scoring from three-quarter court, you're scoring from the three-point line. And that's something that I like that balance. Again, it's frustrating to shoot 39% because I know where we got our shots, and that's a we just got, when we're locked in, we don't miss those shots, and when we're not, we miss them.
Shannon?
Anything you can point to about not being as locked in as you'd like for them today?
I'm almost convinced it's more than 3 days off. We are just about over the season when we have had any, and I've never had a team that's been a part of it. I was really, really excited about having the time off simply because of Io's situation, and he played at Penn State, and I thought you're late in the year. It's really unique to get time off, and we could take advantage of it. And we did. We took 2 days off, and then came back, and we kind of lose that competitive edge. We were back on our heels. We weren't that ultra aggressive team then. So I kind of like, from here on out, we're in a rhythm.
You've talked before about Allen being an elite shooter, but it seemed like tonight there was an aggressiveness to go to the rack and go to the rim and maybe go get some offensive rebounds and help the team that way, and just kind of his development as a player.
Well, and that's one of the things we talked about at nauseum going into this game was like the three, love the rim. Like the three, love the rim. And there's not a lot of shot blocking in there. And I think they had 3 fouls the first half, and they're not we're fouling you. And yet they do a good job of staying in front of you and mixing things up. And we got in a stretch where we opened the game and we took a bunch of threes, which I'm good with threes when they're coming from the right guys at the right time. Allen's just continued to blossom. And tonight, he's always great on the offensive glass and got a great tip dunk and probably missed some shots that, at the rim that he would like to have back.
Scott.
You were talking yesterday about how you'd like to see Trent, take some tough shots to get going because he seems to make those 70 feet. Tough one.
He practices those. And I say that in all sincerity. When we in practice every day and the huddle comes together, that we have the guys sprint into the huddle, but Trent always has a ball and he shoots a half-court shot every day. And if he doesn't at least hit the rim, if he shoots an air ball, we do it again. And, so you takes tremendous hand-eye coordination. If you ever watch elite pros, they can make, I coach Michael Beasley, and I've watched Mike make 5 in a row one time from beyond half court. Just there's something about that gift. But the one before that one was a tough shot, and Trent makes those, and we need him taking those shots. And it was good to see those balls go in for him.
Back to Kofi, he didn't get it. He only had 1 foul, and it wasn't until less than 2 minutes left in the game. I'm just wondering, is that a sign of maturation too? And just, I don't know if you can just also maybe separate on that, and then also where you would grade his progress this season. Obviously, he's had a big impact from the get-go, but just where you've seen him come as well.
I've been really pleased with Kofi throughout the season for his understanding defensively of how to not get fouls and to know how much opponents go at him. He's guarding a ball screen literally every trip. He guarded a ball screen tonight almost every possession of that game. And that's not easy because you have to make the calls, you've got to have the right positioning, and then you've got to understand you've got elite level guards coming at you who are trying to put fouls on you. And he's been nothing short of remarkable in that area. And again, Kofi impacts us more defensively and on the glass than he does at the other end. And that's pretty special for a young kid.
Joey.
Brett, obviously Io's got speed in the open court, but what's the other component that makes him so good in transition? Is there an instinct thing?
I think he's been in it so long in terms of playing in the open court, and he was an elite finisher on the AAU circuit. He did that at Morgan Park. He's just got a knack. He's got a gift. He's learned different release points now. He's using both hands. You start adding those pieces and that speed, that change of pace, all becomes pretty hard to contain.
Brad.
Georgie, looking at the stats, is 12 for his last 50 from the floor over the past 8 games. Is it just mental? Because those are shots he's made previously. What do you do to get him out of that?
I can't explain it. And we saw him set a freshman school record in here and didn't miss anything. And sometimes the game, as a coach, the game's evasive. It gets really hard, and I don't know why. All I know is to keep fighting, keep grinding, and it will come back to you. And you can't wallow in that moment, that it didn't work that moment. It's on to the next, and you've got to show that grit and that fight. I think we would all be very, very comfortable in here knowing every one of those shots he took tonight, I would feel great about him shooting every single time. And it was the same way at Penn State. And I mean, the ball sits on the rim and it falls out. And that the basketball gods sometimes make that very evasive. And yet, next game, next practice. And it's not because he's not putting in time. He was after shoot around today, he spent 20 minutes, just shooting jump hooks, and got to find a way.
Gavin.
Brad, you guys have excelled at getting offensive rebounds all year. 19 tonight, 14 second chance points. It seems like it was a little bit of the difference there. What do you do in practice to get these guys to get so good at that? Because Io said it's kind of muscle memory, and you either go for it or you get yelled at.
It's not just get yelled at. But, I think that we emphasize it as a staff in every drill we do live. And we try to treat it as a shot, or as a pass, and to go get it. And we play percentages. We chart every missed shot in the off season and where they go, and we play percentages. But it's a knack, and it's something that we demand that they do. I got upset with Kofi because he had one he just didn't go get. And, to me, offensive rebounding is the one area you can be really, really selfish. That's my ball. I'm going to go get it. And, I saw an interesting stat, and we tell our bigs this, who all aspire to play at the next level. I think for the top 10 rebounders in the NBA, they make $1.7 million a rebound. I'm going to go rebound the basketball. And it's somewhere in there. That may be a year old or so. But it's crazy, and that's the premium on rebounding the basketball. And that's an area you can be really selfish in. But we need to be great at it, and that's one thing that we try to get 40% of our misses back.
Kofi laid out one drill for us, like a 2v2 situation, and it's kind of a free-for-all, it sounds like. Foul if you need to, but have you seen him personally grow in that drill to translate on the court in games like that?
Well, Kofi's grown in a lot of areas, but, that's just a physical toughness drill, and it's a really, really hard drill, because what happens is you become exhausted in that drill in a really quick amount of time, because it's kind of a hand-to-hand combat, brutal type drill from the standpoint of its physical, and you got to go till you score. And sometimes you get out there a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and you're exhausted, and yet if you don't go to the offensive glass, there's repercussions. So it's all a mindset, and it's creating a habit. Part of that is we got older guys now have been in it a year, so they also know to go.
Derek.
Talk a lot about Allen's threes, his offensive rebounds, 2 steals against Penn State, another tonight, big block from behind. What's his growth been like defensively for him?
And still growing? Yeah. Still growing. That was a big-time block. Allen's so instinctive. And, his reaction, he's as gifted as anybody I've seen at just having that a desire to go get the ball at both ends. And you saw it in the Michigan State game when it hurt us. He went to try to block a shot instead of having a crackdown on Tillman. You saw him tonight go block a shot. Those are things that he does at an elite level, is go chase the ball, and he does that on both ends, and he gets to it, and he's athletic and very, very instinctive on that end.
Yeah. I'm curious, when you watch Nebraska, seeing how this is Fred's first year with them, does that look familiar to you from what your first year was, and do you guys kind of look around and go, boy, they're about a player away from being a real pain in the butt?
Well, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. I faced Fred's teams at Iowa State, and they're going to be good. There's no doubt. And it's the Big Ten. Everybody's good. I'm not shocked by anything. This league's got great coaches. We sit here. I think we all beat up on each other, and you know, it's there's no easy nights, and yeah, we've been in his spot. We've been in his spot.
Eric?
It was a 50-47 game, I think, at the 13-minute mark of the second half, and then you guys start putting together consecutive stops, and it kind of led to getting more momentum on offense. Just how much is this team, or how much more does this team get fueled by getting consecutive stops on the offensive end? Do you feel like sometimes you guys might rely on that too much?
That's our identity. That's who we are. The one thing that I know translates on the road, I think it translates in postseason play. Shooting the ball gets hard. It gets hard the further you play on. Defense, rebounding, and making things as challenging as you can for the other team. That translates, and that's what we're going to continue to build this identity on.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.